When we're creating invoices in JobTread, we want to be in the Budget tab on a job. Then if we're looking at the overview of your entire budget, you'll need to scroll past the estimating section, past the job costing section, and you'll notice that the invoicing section is in purple in the budget. Now, if you want to customize these columns, the order in which you're viewing them, you can click on the gear icon to open up your budget view settings, and then you'll scroll down and find those invoicing columns, and you can turn them on or off, or you can rearrange them as you'd like. And then of course, you can save as to save a new view for yourself for this budget. Now we already have an invoicing view built into the budget for you, so if you click on the drop-down menu here, you'll see one of your organization views is called Invoicing, and this just allows you to focus specifically on the invoicing columns and not having to scroll past all the others. Now here's where we're going to track our receivables. So let's go ahead and create a new invoice, and let's say it's a deposit for this job. So I'm going to click on Plus Document, and then I'm going to choose my customer invoice document template. I'll click on my deposit one. And now I can choose which items from my budget I want to include on that invoice. If we're just going to do an overall percentage straight off the top, then you can just leave those all selected and we'll add in the percentage down here. So I could just say 15% across the board, or I can put in a total amount. Now, some of you may be invoicing based on phase of the project. So at that point, you can of course expand these, maybe deselect everything and only select the phases that you'd like to invoice on, and then maybe a certain percentage of them. Now you do have this discard or reset button on the bottom here to reset your changes if you need it. Now this is if you are going to be invoicing in more of a fixed price manner. If you're more of a cost plus builder, you may be invoicing off of bills and time, so therefore passing those along to your customer. So you can click on bills and time here, and then you can pass along any of the time that's tracked or any bills that you created in JobTread, and you can add those directly to the invoice, and of course leveraging some of your filtering tools to find the exact ones that you'd like to pass along. Well, let's go back to our items here and let's just do 15% across the top. Here we go, we'll click create. And now I have my invoice with all of my progress amounts, so it's showing already invoice versus this invoice for your customer. And then in this case, I might just also want to only see the group levels, so I can choose to just see the top levels. There they are. It's a little bit cleaner for your customer. And then of course you can click to edit any part of this. Now on the right hand side, you have the options to either show cost and fee, the cost of the project separate from your profit, or you also can choose what payment methods you'd like to accept for this invoice. So as long as you've set up your payment processing with one of our partners, such as Stripe payments, Evo payments, etc., then you can go ahead and enable ACH bank transfer and or credit and debit card options on this one invoice. At that rate, then your customer will pay directly through JobTread. Now, if you would prefer for them to pay maybe through QuickBooks or another method, you can of course leave those off and then provide some additional instructions for your customer as you need to. We'll leave them on for now. You also have the option to allow partial payments toward the total balance. So if you'd like your customer to be able to pay in bits and pieces or pay with 2 different cards or something of the matter, then you can easily turn on the partial payments option. And then of course you can choose to show your financing through Acorn Finance, our partner here, if you'd like to. Now if we're ready, all we need to do is click save, and then we'll send it off to our customer using one of the action buttons up top. Click send, and then you can edit the email message, require a signature. In this case, I just want to get paid. I don't really need a signature, so we'll leave it as is, and maybe even send it off to the other customer as well. There we go. Click send, and now each of your customer contacts will receive an email with your logo, your message, and a button to view the invoice. When they click that button, it will open up the invoice in their portal, and if they have not set up a username or password yet for JobTread, they don't need to create one, it'll just open it right up. But if they have set up their credentials, they can easily log into JobTread and see it. And now you'll notice that they have their payment options here. Let's say that this customer ended up stopping by your office and they paid you via check. So you can then record the payment if you'd like, plus payment, and you're going to choose check, put in your reference number, and then hit save, and you'll see that the payment was made today and this invoice is marked as paid. Now, when you're ready to create additional invoices, maybe at different points in the job, or you can create them all now to then send out at different points in the job, you'll follow the same steps. So we'll go back to our budget, and you'll see in this case, we have the percentage already invoiced, how much was collected, and then how much is left to be invoiced. So I can click plus document, and now I'll choose my other invoice document template, and then it'll say how much is left is 85% of this total job. So I'm going to just invoice on 20% across the top there, and then we'll click create. And now I can go through the same pattern. So if I am showing those line item files, I can even turn those off. Of course, I want to just show top level here, and then edit anything else I need to. Add my subject if I'd like to, so progress payment number 1, great. And then of course I want to allow maybe ACH bank transfer, but not allow credit and debit card options here because it's over $5,000, so that fee would be pretty hefty. Okay, we'll hit save, and then I can go ahead and send this off. And let's add that other customer on there again, send. And here you'll see it's an open invoice in which your customer can pay. While it's open, if I go back to my budget, I will now see that I have a pending or open invoice as well as an approved one. And then of course I can always click on any of these cells to open them and see what documents are informing the total number on that cell. If you have any questions, contact your customer success manager, or you can email support@jobtread.com and we'll be sure to help.